Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Crocker. She's with the University of Kentucky Extension Forest Health. We're going to talk about something that brings back a lot of childhood memories for me.
Me too.
And that's honeysuckle.
It is true. I mean, who doesn't remember sucking the nectar out of those flowers when they were a kid, and the wonderful way that honeysuckle smells when those flowers are blooming? Such positive memories, right?
That's right, but today we're going to focus a little bit about how they're invasive.
And so that's something that was really surprising to me as well when I first learned about it, because I have memories of honeysuckle. To find out that not only is that not native here, but it's considered invasive. So that's something that's not native and is causing problems. So not only do they not stay put in your yard, if you've got them there, they'll seed in everywhere, but then they'll really take over in our natural areas and cause problems, growing so abundantly that they prevent our native plants from being able to thrive there too. With honeysuckle, it's especially common in those disturbed areas, those edges. It can get in there, and of course those flowers turn into berries that are eaten by birds and can be spread long distances that way.
And so they can definitely be an issue, but let's talk a little bit about, because there's not just one honeysuckle.
Not just one invasive honeysuckle, there are two. So as if that weren't enough, there are two different species of invasive honeysuckle here that are common. So first you have an invasive vine honeysuckle called Japanese honeysuckle. And that's the one that I think both of us remember as kids. It has really fragrant flowers and kind of grows as this vine covering and kind of carpeting over other shrubs into trees. The problem with that is that not only will it cover things, so kind of smother them, but as it's growing, if it's growing over young trees, it can actually strangle them, kind of impact how they're growing a little bit. And you might occasionally see that in the woods. You're like, I wonder why this tree has this weird spiral around it. The honeysuckle that was there could have done that. So that's one invasive honeysuckle. But then there are also invasive bush honeysuckles that are different species. And the problem with those is that they are large bushes. They can grow in these dense thickets, especially in the understories, or as you mentioned, kind of along those edges, and just take over. They shade everything out, they crowd everything else out, and you don't get other things when all you have is this thick layer of that invasive honeysuckle bush.
Now, does the bush honeysuckle have the similar flowers and the fragrance and those type of things?
It does have very similar flowers. I think not as fragrant, but the berries are the red colored berries, whereas the vine honeysuckle has a darker colored berry, more of a black color. So, they do look a little bit different. What they do have in common is that both of them have opposite leaves. So that's something to look for when you're looking at these different honeysuckles.
Now, they're invasive, and the vine, I'm just thinking about those vines. How hard is it to control, or are there control options?
There are control options for both of them. And I think in general with invasive plant management, the best thing you can do is to spot it early and get rid of it before it is everywhere, because it's a lot harder to deal with something once it's covering a lot of area or really dense than when you just have a few plants here or there. I really encourage folks that have it in their home landscapes that they can upgrade that. They can do better plants. So if you like that vine honeysuckle, we have a gorgeous native honeysuckle that won't be quite as problematic, but will still grow really nicely and have beautiful flowers. Its flowers are a gorgeous coral color. You can use that instead of this invasive honeysuckle.
Well, it's good to know that there's options, though, like an alternative.
Oh yeah, there are lots of alternatives. And for anybody who's struggling with managing those, I really encourage them to reach out to their county extension office, check out resources online. There's a lot of great information that'll save you some headache, because one thing that's true with our bush honeysuckles is that if you cut them down and don't do anything else, they're going to come back even worse than they were to begin with. So you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to promote the health of your woods, your yard, your landscapes.
All right. Well, Ellen, certainly appreciate the information. And if you have questions about honeysuckle, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.